We are now joined by Rohan Suryavanshi, Head of Strategy and Planning at the company. Rohan, good having you. Happy New Year. Thanks so much for speaking to us at BloombergQuint. What kind of opportunity do you see as a result of this pipeline?
Hi, pleasure to be on your show as always. Wishing you, the whole team and all your viewers a very happy New Year as well.
Thank you.
Yes, this is a fantastic move from the government and this is at least in continuation with what they had already spoken about and stated that what they want to do in the next 5 years. When I look at the details of the areas that they have decided to invest in, all of these areas, whether it was roads, whether it is airports, irrigation, all these areas are areas where we are already working in. And the opportunity for us is obviously all the project or everything that is there is something that we as a company will look forward to doing. But more than just the opportunity, I think the fact that the government is outlining a clear, instead of just the headline numbers, the government is outlining a plan and a way ahead. That is very helpful. I think it will give the sector and the broader economy, all the investors, the much needed confidence that there is a plan in place and the government plans to kickstart the economy with investments in long-term assets.
Yeah, Rohan, the point is, hitherto we've seen that the actual execution versus the planned capex has lagged by the tune of almost 50%. Now, how much is a reasonable estimate for such a large target that has been planned, and how do you benefit out of this?
So in the last 6 years, they've put in, when I was listening to the FM, they said they put in about 50 crores plus of money in infrastructure. So even if I do some back of the envelope calculation for the next few years, I don't doubt that at least 70-80 lakh crores of investment can come into the sector. I don't know if 100 lakh crore will materialize or not. It'd be early to say, and I think it'd be important to see how the government spending pans out. But I think it'd be fair to say that at least that much should be there, and that provides a huge amount of opportunity for all the players in the sector.
Rohan, but do you think the budgetary support will be enough in order to execute this sort of large capex, and the estimated which is there for this financial year is almost 41%?
See, I think the government will obviously have to think about not just the budgetary support, but also other ideas of how they can sort of raise money to be able to do this. Besides that, the much needed comfort that is needed for investors, whether it's banking system or us to invest in PPP, the additional safeguards that are needed there. All those things also need to be done. And then the banks would have to be pushed to lend to the sector. This would have to be made as a priority sector for all these things to happen. So I think it won't just be the budgetary support, but the extra budgetary allowances plus the private sector investment. All those three things will have to fire at the same time for this dream to materialize. Let's hope that the government works in that direction.
Right. But do you think government has gone too aggressive with regard to private participation spend?
I mean, given the current state, one may sort of think about it on those terms. However, I think if the confidence that is needed and if the changes that are needed to be done in the contracting and if they can sort of bring in more safeguards, I think slowly that confidence will come in. We have seen in the last few years that more and more foreign pension funds have started coming in India to look at buying long-term assets. They are usually averse to taking construction risks, but once the assets are completed, they are okay taking over. So that churn of capital, where someone like us who comes in, builds an asset and then can sell it to one of these larger players, and then again use that capital to keep investing. I think that will also be that will be one area where the government can sort of help out and make sure that this investment happens. So yes, currently it seems a little tough to imagine that this kind of investment will flow in. But if the government takes the necessary steps, I don't think it can't be made a reality.
Okay.
Maybe even not to that extent, but at least to a large extent.
Let's hope this is a reality, because for the longest time, government has been announcing several measures to boost the infrastructure space. One more question, Rohan, with regard to the road infra spend, I think almost 9.6 lakh crore has been envisaged for the next 5 years. Now, keeping this sort of figure and the time frame in mind, do you then see revival of the BOT sort of structure in its present format?
So yeah, the amount that they have earmarked for the road, at least in the plan, is about 19 lakh crore. Now, I do see a revival of BOT, but there are a lot of caveats to that. Like I said, the agreement, the PPP structure will have to be made more balanced. And when the government says it's a public-private partnership, the government will have to work towards a partnership, or not let just the private party take all the risks and wash their hands off, which has happened in the past. So I think if those comforts are made, definitely it can increase. It would be tough for me to say how much can really happen. What are the changes that the government brings in when they talk about the investor summit that they want to do every year for infra. So I don't know what kind of positive impact it will have, what kind of interest it might generate going further. But if they work on a good, solid partnership with the private sector, I'm sure they can achieve a big portion of the targets that they have.